Conversations on any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practices. KYND, a Synergy Broadcasting Company.
Morning. Welcome to Zakiya Larry Live. I am so excited today. So we're doing a special series, Broken and Blended Families. And it's a very short one. It's only 4 parts. I added a part in the middle. But listen, we have been talking about the different elements of the family, how things became broken. But more importantly, I'm your elevation strategist. So I am really intent on getting to the core issues, helping us to heal from our brokenness in these situations and helping us to blend better. So we talked to moms about their experiences. What was that like? And a lot of us know that. A lot of folks grew up with single moms, and we even talked to kids, and that was powerful. That was so amazing. And so today we're going to do something that is rarely, if ever, done. Oh my, this is a heavy load I'm lifting, but we are talking to men. We are going to ask questions about fatherhood and the man's role in a broken and blended family. I'm even going to have a special guest and talk to this person who was even absent in their child's life, and now they've sort of reconnected. We got questions. A lot of times we man bash, but what's their story? And I have some incredible men here that are going to be joining us on the show. Now, before I get to the guys, the mainstay. We've got Stephanie D. Miller in the house, our licensed family therapist, who's here to really bring these points together and keep us from having breakdowns on air. So, good morning, Stephanie. We got Stephanie here. Say hello, hello.
Hello. And thank you for this. This is
oh my gosh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And so we have a Dapper Dan, media mogul, media executive, who is a superstar father in his own right. We have Oscar Hines. Good morning.
Good morning, and that checkbook goes both ways, so it's time for me to write one for that flattering introduction. Thank you.
We pay each other for compliments around here on KYND. He's fantastic. So Oscar's going to really illuminate some stuff for us, and I am so pleased to announce that we have joining us via Skype the founder, the CEO of Dads United, Mr. Antar Muhammad. Good morning.
Hello, Zakiya and the panel. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
We are so excited. So, Antar, thank you for joining us. Oscar, thank you for joining us, because I don't know, some women might be calling in, so I hope you got your armor on, because we don't know what's going to happen today, but this conversation needs to be had. So let me set the scene for you guys, add a little bit of context before we jump in here. I truly believe that dads are either forgotten or completely vilified. And then somewhere in the middle, you have those good experiences that get washed over a bit. And that's why I think this conversation is so critical, because not only are they 50% of every walking person's DNA, but they're the cornerstone of our families, and they are the center of our hearts, whether they are present or not. So listen, if you have a question, a comment, make sure that you share this conversation, because somebody needs to hear this. Share it on Facebook at KYND Radio or Zakiya Larry, and call in. I'm going to give the number, because when we jump into this, you're going to need this number written down, 832-230-5592. Give us a call and weigh in on this dad's role in broken and blended families, 832-230-5592. So, you know what? Just to have a little levity before we get started, especially because we got parents in the studio, I want to do a wait what. All right, let's do a real quick wait what. So,
Wait, what?
I love parenting stories. So, but let's focus on the dads because Father's Day is coming up. So, Oscar.
Yes. I have a wait what.
You have a wait what? Okay. Give us your wait what as it relates to fatherhood. What's something that you had to say, wait, what?
So when my son was younger, and this was just so bizarre, he was eating those little Pepperidge Farm little goldfish things, right? So he's just consuming these things like ravenously.
All right.
And so I decide to be a cool dad. I'm going to buy him a pet, but I want sort of a real non-committal type pet, right?
Okay,
so
absolutely.
I'm thinking we're going to go to the little pet store, but I'm going to get him like a fish. That's easy. That's low maintenance, right?
I'm a goldfish kind of girl. I like this approach.
There you go. So I walk in the store and I want to surprise him, and I said, son, I'm going to get you a goldfish. And then he says, no, Dad. And everyone turns around. He says, goldfish make me constipated. Wow. And I went, wait, what?
Wait, what?
That's good. Wait, what?
You know what? Okay. Listen, this is the legendary, that goes down in the history of wait, whatness. I'm not going to touch it. Nobody's going to trump that. Oscar Hines has officially become the MVP of Wait What. That was awesome. So if you're on Facebook, if you had a Wait What parenting moment, especially guys, use hashtag ZL Live. See if you can beat Oscar in this goldfish constipation story. I'm pretty sure you can't. But I don't know. Let's talk about it. So when you need a laugh, play this back because I've never heard anything like that before in my life. So, and we got Antar. You got to be here on our live stream because Antar's over here laughing. He's a father, and we're going to ask him about that in a minute. So remember, weigh in 832-230-5592. So guys, let's get ready for some real life, real talk, real change. First question here, okay? And Antar, I'm going to ask this to both you and Oscar Hines. Father's Day is coming up, and I already set the context. I think sometimes you guys are overlooked. Oscar, do you find that to be true? And what does that feel like when Father's Day is approaching and people are more concerned about what's happening the day after on Monday? Like an afterthought. How does that feel for you as a man and as a father?
Gosh. Well, just personally, I feel like Father's Day for me is a day when, of course, we honor dads. I think dads do get a bad rap. I think that many of us are good dads. I know I try to be, but there are some out there, the absentee dads. So I get it. I tend to have more reverence, to be perfectly honest, with women and mothers. And I say that because of how much you ladies do, how much commitment it takes. Because, we are looked at as heroes if we raise our kids ourselves, but women do it all the time. And they do it really well. So personally, while, there might be a little mother envy, right? but not at that level to me. I'm on the side of moms. I think they're great. And I feel like, boy, my mom is awesome, and I adore her. My dad and mom were married the whole time I was growing up. It was all good, but Mom, forget about it. That's where my heart is.
Right, that's where your heart is.
Yeah.
Antar, jump in here because talk to us about the movement with Dads United, and do you and the dads that you work with feel overlooked? Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. Dads United was created because I was concerned about many fathers feeling neglected and feeling like after a while that their efforts have been looked over, or they're looked at as maybe just a wallet, or maybe the Uber driver. It used to be the cab driver, and that's the Uber or the Lyft driver for the family. And so many times dads feel like they're just a piece of equipment in the house, and they never really get that recognition that they truly deserve. And so Dads United was created to show these dads, hey man, you are appreciated, you are valued. Thank you for what all you do, man. And keep your head in the game, keep your head in the fight, man. Keep your heart in it, because a lot of times dads don't feel encouraged as much as mom does. Everybody cheers and looks in the camera and says, hi mom, I love you, thanks mom. And while there are really, really great moms out there, there's also some awesome dads out there. So, you know, for a father to not be recognized on Father's Day, especially when he is really trying and really putting forth an effort to be a dad, it kind of shows him, hey man, you know, you don't really matter. You're almost a piece of furniture in the house. And so Dads United was created to show that you are more than that, that you are loved, you are appreciated. The kids may not say it right now, but trust me, that's truly how they feel. You are invaluable to their lives.
Wow. Antar, we're going to dig deep in just a moment on some of the points you made, especially about some guys are really trying. I want to get into, well, what does trying look like and mean? Because maybe people don't understand what your try looks like right before we go to break. But when we come back, I want you to understand who these men are. I'll give you a quick teaser. One of these men raised their children by themselves, and we're going to hear his story. Another one of these gentlemen is married and travels more than he sleeps. So we need to understand what fatherhood looks like in both of these scenarios. And men, I want you to see yourself in their stories. Women, I want us to take a step back and learn to empathize before judging. Let's see if we can do that. And Stephanie's going to put a bow around these issues for us too. We'll be back after this break. Broken and Blended Families, the dad element. It's Zakiya Larry Live.
Zakiya Larry Live. Everybody has a past, so together we'll use all of it to unlock your purpose. It's about real life, real talk, real change. Welcome to Zakiya Larry Live.
Ready to live your best life? Get motivated with powerful programs that help you take control of mind and body.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND 1520 is a powerful 25,000-watt station that covers 175-mile radius of Houston and surrounding areas, and can be heard and seen anywhere in the world online through the mobile app powered by JStream. It's not just radio, it's interactive radio. KYND is the kind of talk that inspires change. Learn how to get healthy and stay healthy. Be inspired to live your best life. Control your finances. Join the growing number of sponsors that understand the value of connecting to listeners through KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change. Download from Android or Apple device at KYND Radio. KYND is not just talk radio, it's interactive radio. Powered by JStream, the future of broadcasting. Listeners now have multiple ways they connect to the conversation. Using a mobile device or computer, they are able to watch their favorite radio talk shows just like a TV program. They can call in during a broadcast, send instant messages as they listen live, or share a broadcast so all their friends can watch live on Facebook.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KY.
To Katie. On the air, everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Zakiya Larry live in the building.
We are talking broken and blended families. We're wrapping up the series here, but it's the dad element. And in the studio, we have media mogul Oscar Hines. We have via Skype the founder of Dads United, Antar Muhammad. We have licensed family therapist Stephanie Miller. And in the first 10 minutes of the show, the gauntlet already dropped. Oh, yes. Antar said that, sometimes dads are really trying, but they sometimes feel like equipment, like a wallet or like a piece of furniture. And Oscar has everybody over here obsessed by saying that he still pays homage to the moms, though he does feel like dads are sometimes overlooked. So now, guys, let's just go there. All right, we're gonna take off the armor and go there because our audience needs to hear from you. Let's do this. Antar, you talked about they're saying that you said men, they're really trying. And my question is, as a child who came from a broken family, what does trying really look like? Because for me, I did not think my dad was trying at all. And he actually said, I am trying. And so when I hear that phrase, that is one of the most offensive things someone can say to me. Talk to me. Let me start with Oscar first, because Antar, you made the statement. Let me start with Oscar first. Have you ever been met with resistance to your try? And do you feel like you have to ever validate your trying as a man and as a father? How do you combat that?
Well, it's a great question. So I raised my kids from the ages of 5, 6, and 10 when their mother decided that she couldn't take it anymore. Mm-hmm. And I remember she still had visitation, and so a lot of times I was the disciplinarian. I was the guy that had to keep the structure. And I think sometimes the opposite is true, right? The dad gets to be the fun one, gets to play, and then, so I met some resistance with my kids who at times were like, we have more fun when we go eat at McDonald's with mom or whatever. And I'm like, well, guys, McDonald's isn't so good for you. We need some broccoli. Right. And so I think those early years were a little bit trying when you had to keep the structure, and they appreciated it over time. But at the beginning of it, it wasn't so easy. Yeah.
Antar, you travel a lot, so I know sometimes you've had to probably say, I'm trying. Do you have a similar experience to Oscar that sometimes you just have to reinforce your try? What does that feel like for you to try as a man and as a dad? Are you met with resistance too sometimes?
Sometimes I am, and I am what you would consider a suitcase dad. So that's a dad that travels quite frequently. So to those dads, I always say that it's better to come into the house and reacclimate yourself to the system that is already in the house, rather than coming in with an iron fist and trying to rule over something that you may not get a chance to oversee, because you'll be gone in the next couple of days, and you'll be gone for a week or 2 days.
Right.
And so you're trying to implement and you're trying to rule on something that you may not even fulfill or see fully played out. So it's better for you to get into the house and acclimate yourself back into the system, because there's a different system and different way the house is run when you're not there. So once you get there then you can go back in and you can try to, maybe implement some rules, maybe some things that you think, could be better or could be worse or have what have you. But it's always better to go in with an open mindset of realizing that in the next couple of days, no matter how hard you try to rule, you're not going to be there in a few days. So you shouldn't try to do anything that will outlast you by being gone.
Right. And you touched on system, too. That's powerful. And, Oscar, you mentioned a bit about system and process, too. So there's so many elements here. I want to hug you guys and then ask all your business at the same time. So I'm going to go back to Oscar on this one. When we talk about system and process and the way a household will run, because I fully understand that for our entire lives, women, misogynistic or not, are being groomed to be mothers. Whether we end up being good at it or not, we have dolls and baby dolls and all these little cartoons. That's just kind of embedded in our minds. I don't know, you guys tell me, but I don't think a man wakes up and says, let me pick up this doll. I'm practicing to be a dad. I'm going to be a dad one day. I think, you guys wake up one day and you're a dad, right? You don't have 20 years of training. So with that being said, Oscar, there's no training ground for this, especially for you. How did you then balance, one, not even having a training ground for being a father, but then absorbing the totality of raising your kids? You went from 0 to 100 real quick. How do you even do that?
Yes. Wow. Well, I used to always say that I'm an okay mom, but I'm an amazing dad.
Okay.
I always had the dad thing down, and I learned from my father, who was a businessman, but from time to time he would really show his humanness, and those few times really resonated. And I remembered having a particularly poignant experience where I was out in the yard with my son, my older son, and we were raking leaves together, and he was only about 5 or 6. And I remembered hearing or seeing a story where Sidney Poitier had written a book called The Measure of a Man. And I loved his story. So I turned to my then 5-year-old son and I said, Austin, what is the measure of a man? And of course, he didn't have the answer right away. Why would he, right? And I said, the measure of a man is how he takes care of his family. And fast forward 10 years later, this now virile, young, strong man is out there raking leaves with me, and deja vu struck in me. And I turned to him and I said, Austin, what is the measure of a man? We had never talked about it again. And he turned to me and looked me right in the eyes and said, it's how he takes care of his family.
Wow.
And it sent a chill through me because that hit home.
Yeah.
And so I can say unequivocally that if you provide a powerful template, even though it may not always be with consistency, but just with that powerful, impactful moment, it can resonate and continue to spread over a lifetime.
Wow.
Right.
Love it.
Right. Stephanie, let's get you in here. So these men are giving us incredible insight into their story and what it's like to be a dad. I'm sure there are some people listening saying, well, that sounds good because they're one of the good ones.
Well, yeah, we are. Right, Antar?
Absolutely.
Everybody come jump right here. We need some help.
We need some enforcement here. Stephanie, what do you say to those people listening who may not get it yet? Maybe they're not resonating with these men's stories yet about fatherhood. What is it they need to do to start to open up and heal maybe their own daddy issues?
Wow. You talked about the trying, and Oscar said it, and Antar has really implied it, that a lot of men, just like some of us women, even though we're groomed to be mothers, we don't often become the best. But what I think is so necessary is to provide what you alluded to, and that's having a powerful template. And I think we're part of what I've seen, part of the issues that come forward is when you find something that is not complete. It doesn't have all of the parts and pieces.
Well, you know what? Let me touch on that. Something that's not complete, all of the parts and pieces. Sometimes it would seem that a template for a family, especially with the father at the helm, would be a complete picture. But I'm starting to see that you can be a lousy husband or a lousy mate, but an incredible father.
Yes,
have you seen that? And then, Antar, I'm going to come to you because I want to hear what your dads have been saying about that. How on earth can you be a not so great boo, but an incredible dad?
Well, that happens.
What have you seen in your clients?
Okay, I've seen different things. Number one, I've seen some be great fathers because they had great examples. I've seen some that have been not so great fathers because they had poor examples. But then on the other hand, if I were to go back to the template, one of the things that I find myself in counseling, and a lot of times I find I'm a teacher
Okay.
or people haven't been taught certain things that we have. So in that template, in order to be a whole dad, you need to address the emotional issues, the spiritual issues, financial issues, physical issues, as well as relational. And so that goes to Antar's point when he says, I'm the wallet, I'm the Uber driver. Because for some dads, they think that all a dad is supposed to do is take care of the family. That's just the physical issues. But then in your situation, you were thrust, and if you were going to nurture your children to be good, solid adults, you knew, of course, that's a given. Your father took care of you. But then when the girls came to you, you helped address emotional issues. You know, when they all got to the point where they had fights and issues with their friends, you're teaching them about relational issues. And really the glue that handles everything together is spiritual. Because if the men, I don't care what faith they profess, but if a man does not have a good, solid spiritual foundation, when all the other ups and downs of life happens, even if they're not getting the respect they deserve,
that spiritual thing will ground them. That's so powerful. Antar, when we come back after this break, I want to get into what you've seen and heard too on this particular subject with the guys on your roster and with you as a dad. It is Zakiya Larry Live. We'll be back.
Hey, go refresh your coffee or send that quick email and come right back. There's more coming up next on Zakiya Larry Live.
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520. You better keep it locked. I'm telling you, if you want to stay focused, you want to be great, you want to get what you need, I got you. That's right, another day, another chance.
Ready to live your best life? Get motivated with powerful programs that help you take control of mind and body.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND 1520 is a powerful 25,000-watt station that covers 175-mile radius of Houston and surrounding areas, and can be heard and seen anywhere in the world online through the mobile app powered by JStream. It's not just radio, it's interactive radio. KYND is the kind of talk that inspires change. Learn how to get healthy and stay healthy. Be inspired to live your best life. Control your finances. Join the growing number of sponsors that understand the value of connecting to listeners through KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change. Download from Android or Apple device at KYND Radio. KYND is not just talk radio, it's interactive radio. Powered by JStream, the future of broadcasting. Listeners now have multiple ways they connect to the conversation. Using a mobile device or computer, they are able to watch their favorite radio talk shows just like a TV program. They can call in during a broadcast, send instant messages as they listen live, or share a broadcast so all their friends can watch live on Facebook.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND. It's about connection.
It's about community.
It's about empowerment.
It's about you.
The kind of talk that inspires change.
Connect now at kyndradio.com.
Joe Warden on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Did you know that Shirley Ann's Black Collectibles and Flowers has one of the largest displays of black statues in the country? They're located in the heart of
welcome to KYND TV. My name's Lindsay Calzada, and I'm about to show you something crazy.
Talk that inspires change. The powerful 1520.
Zakiya Larry live in the building.
We are having a very powerful conversation. We're talking the dad element in broken and blended families. Before we went to break, I use the illustration that women have been groomed basically their whole lives to be moms, but dads don't get that experience. And then I segued into the fact that because of that, we see that sometimes there's a little bit of disconnect, that sometimes a guy or a woman, but in this case, we're talking about you fellas, a guy can be a lousy mate and a great dad. And Oscar really illuminated a lot of pieces that really helped bring a family together and how he connected with his children. I want to go to Antar really quickly before we move this conversation along. Antar, you are the founder of Dads United, and you work with men across the country, and you want to empower folks to let people know that there are good dads out there. How, though, if the family is the structure that creates great kids, how then is it possible for a man to be a lousy mate but a great father? Don't those things go together? I don't understand how you can be one and not the other.
There are many guys, many dads out there who were not raised in the house with the father. So they're trying to be something that they never really saw in the first place. So I equate it to almost trying to walk through life with a foggy mirror. I mean, you really don't have a true perception of what you are hoping to become because you've never really seen it before you. And so sometimes a guy really tries his hardest to give his kids, again, the word try comes up, he's trying to give his kids his all because he is hoping not to repeat the same mistakes of his father. And not having his father in his life, or maybe having a limited father in his life, he is really trying to grasp at straws here. He's really hoping to do something different than what his dad did. That is indeed the hope for many men. That's the reason why the stats are showing that many, especially African American men, are really taken apart in the lives of their children because we're just trying not to repeat the same mistakes. And it is possible for you to be a great dad and not be a great husband. Again, you were trained by no one, really. I mean, you were trained sometimes by your mother who, may have given you a few attributes that she wanted you to grow up with as being a male, something that she wanted to see in you. But because you didn't have a father in your life, you don't really know the mindset, the processes, the thinking orders of a man. And so sometimes it's difficult for you to be something again that you have never seen before.
Well, because you can only be what you see. Oscar, do you agree with that? Your parents were married. You ended up taking on the role of raising your kids solo. Did you pull from things that you saw, and what helped you to maintain and ultimately raise some amazing human beings?
Well, I really feel like that example was set by both mom and dad. And, of course, the beauty of my situation, if I could look for the silver lining, was that the family unit was still around me. I still had the benefit of having my mother and sisters and so on in there, because I had daughters to raise that needed examples of what a really good woman looks like. And I found that in my sisters and my mom, and how they would sort of impart these values. And, I feel like that really helps the whole village to raise a child piece is so important in a blended family situation.
Right. That's powerful. So we hear from guys who are present, one because they like to be. But let's pivot a little bit. I know that a lot of people are saying, Zakiya, this is all nice and roses, you being nice on Monday, but listen, my dad just was not there. What do we say to that? So what I want to do is I have a quick question from a gentleman. So let me set the stage for you really quickly. This person was perceived for many, many years as being absentee. And he then sat down with his children in their adulthood and had a conversation with them. And we're going to touch on that. We're going to bring that gentleman on the line. Hello, good morning. Do we have Clarence on the line this morning?
Yes, you do.
Good morning. Whoa, Clarence, you got a radio voice. You're trying to take my job. Wait a minute.
Well, it is what it is.
Okay, we hanging up. No. Clarence, thank you for joining us. We're talking broken and blended families. Now, a gentleman here raised his kids by himself. Another guy is married. He has kids, but he travels a lot. But I know that you have a different story. And I thank you for being brave. But I can tell you, because I know at least one of your children, and they thought for many, many years that you were absent in their lives because they didn't see you. But then I found out from you, sir, that they were always on your mind and that you were providing. Did you feel pushed away as a father, and what made you want to sit down with your adult kids and tell them your side of the story?
Well, here's the thing about it. First of all, I grew up in a family where my father showed the value. And I was all makes a life that would have progressed out. First of all, loving each other and people as you want to be treated. That instilled in me from day one. When I was a younger man, much as I am now, I did want a family. Okay. And I knew that I would be responsible father.
Okay.
But things didn't work out according to plans. At the same time, I did not charge my kids for anything that had happened. I loved kids. I knew at that time that one day my kids would understand exactly what happened.
Okay.
I felt them when they were younger, because I had feelings also. I wasn't with my kids on a daily basis. Say good morning. We have together. We go to the park. We want to go bowling. Work. Right. Blah, blah, blah.
So I'm going to jump in, Clarence, because we're having a hard time hearing you. So it sounds like you're saying that you weren't with your kids on a daily basis, but you did want a family. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And
correct.
So, but why were you not with them on a daily basis, and how did you explain that to your adult kids?
Well, things happen, while they were still kids, between the mother and myself. And I'm the type of person, I do not like communication. I rather discuss things and work it out more so than from let's say, a physical aspect, so to speak.
Right.
One of my kids to grow up, respect their mother and father, and understand what was happening. Now, at the time of the departure, I knew my kids would understand as well as would once they reached adulthood. And I knew that once they reached adulthood, they would have understood exactly what had happened.
So my
even
question,
though they did not like it.
Absolutely.
I said from day one that one day I'm going to sit and talk with my kids and to explain to them what's happening and the way that I feel. I did not totally turn away against my kids. I wanted them to understand from their own knowledge gained from what had happened, so to speak, in a way. Not from being adults. Not that they would have faced the same situation at hand, but different adversities that would cause them to understand why this did not work out, because I knew that I had smart, intelligent, bright kids, so they're going to grow. But I could not let myself grow through life without approaching my kids and giving my points of views as to the situation at hand and why I wasn't present. And
So, Clarence, to put a bow on that, why is it that you felt like you didn't have the finances to do fun stuff with them? Because Oscar said, you know, sometimes dads have to be the disciplinarian and kids are like, well, I have more fun somewhere else, and vice versa. So is it that you felt like at that time you didn't have the finances to be the fun dad, and that was hard for you to face when your kids were little? Was that part of it?
No. Finance had nothing to do with it. You know, it was a situation at hand that was presented. Because I've always said to myself that I did not want to respond in a way in front of my kids to give them some type of adverse look on the aspects of their father and the way their father was at that moment. Gotcha. I always have maintained in my mind that I want to be respectful toward my kids. I always have said that and wanted to be my kids, and I think that I have been and will continue to be as long as the man above allow me to be above the ground and to be in it. I want to be my kids' brother, friend, and not only as their father. I want they can relate, because kids tend to learn from their parents.
Absolutely.
They watch their mother, they watch their father, and that's how they develop, a lot of kids rather, that's how they develop their character. They throughout life. I did not want to be a runaway for my kids. I always wanted my kids to know that I'm there for you, and I always have been there for them, and I am here there for them.
Thank you so much. That's so brave of you to share this. And we're going to continue the conversation here. Thank you so much, Clarence, for joining us. And we're going to take a few calls in just a minute.
Hey, it's your elevation strategist, Zakiya Larry, and you're listening to Zakiya Larry Live on KYND 1520 AM.
Zakiya Larry Live in the building.
Ready to live your best life? Get motivated with powerful programs that help you take control of mind and body.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
KYND 1520 is a powerful 25,000-watt station that covers 175-mile radius of Houston and surrounding areas, and can be heard and seen anywhere in the world online through the mobile app powered by JStream. It's not just radio, it's interactive radio. KYND is the kind of talk that inspires change. Learn how to get healthy and stay healthy. Be inspired to live your best life. Control your finances. Join the growing number of sponsors that understand the value of connecting to listeners through KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change. Download from Android or Apple device at KYND Radio. KYND is not just talk radio, it's interactive radio. Powered by JStream, the future of broadcasting. Listeners now have multiple ways they connect to the conversation. Using a mobile device or computer, they are able to watch their favorite radio talk shows just like a TV program. They can call in during a broadcast, Send instant messages as they listen live, or share a broadcast so all their friends can watch live on Facebook.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say, focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Talk that inspires change. The powerful 1520.
Zakiya Larry live in the building.
Oh my goodness, we're okay. So we have talked to a father who was labeled absentee, and he was basically saying he never wanted to cast dispersion upon himself or the children's mother. But to encapsulate it, it basically sounded like he was having issues and the kids kind of took the brunt of it, right? He was having issues in the family. Right. Is that what you heard, Stephanie, from this call?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that in order to really, he wanted to protect his children, but in essence, he was protecting himself. That's my perception from the conflict with the mother, because he clearly stated more than once that he didn't want to respond a certain way. And so the nugget that I'd like to add for everyone right now is there are different relationships. You know, even if you and the other parent have a relationship that's not as good.
How do you work through that?
You work through that through counsel.
Okay. And that's what you provide as well, seeking counsel.
Because the thing is, it should never adversely impact the relationship with the child.
Right.
See, children have enough going on in their heads without trying to make sense of grown folks' business.
Absolutely.
Like we heard.
That's so good.
And so nowadays, a lot of people talk about co-parenting.
Oh, that's so good. Co-parenting. So Oscar and Antar, to the co-parenting, you heard the call. How do you, as men, how did you co-parent, and how do you co-parent in the face of adversity? Because as we see, some men just say, yeah, I'll catch them when they're grown.
Yep.
You know, others duke it out. What do you say as fathers? What's some good advice for co-parenting? We'll start with you, Antar, and based off what you've heard with some men with Dads United as well. How did they co-parent? Some good tips.
Well, you know, just jumping quickly back to the caller, what I hear from a lot of men is that they're really beaten by the fight. I mean, that they're trying to really get in the lives of their children, and they are just overcome by the fight that they are constantly put through the mother. Now, sometimes it is a situation to where the mother has right to desperately fight against the father really seeing that child, and sometimes it's just that mother punishing the father but using the kids in an adverse way, which is really detrimental to the children, as Stephanie has implied there. You know, but there are a lot of men who don't really know how to go that extra mile and how to continue that fight,
right?
Because they don't. Because again, they're beaten by the fight, and they feel as though this is a never-winning battle. They'll never be able to win. And to that man, I want to tell you, your head up, man. It's not about the fight; it's about the child that you will have much longer after the fight.
Yeah.
And you know, there are a lot of men who make it successful co-parenting by making the mother realize that it's not about you; it's about the child. Because ultimately, what you put in that child is what you're going to see out of that child.
That's so good. Antar, let's get Oscar in here. Absolutely. Oscar, how did you avoid being beaten by the fight? Then we're going to take our first call from Charlene. Oscar, your thoughts?
Yes, I really took the time to tell my ex that we cannot use the child as a weapon. And sometimes when there's a bunch of residual hurt in a relationship, the child is used as a weapon because it's the only Achilles heel that the man has. He's fortified against the other aspects because he no longer has the emotional connectivity to the woman. So having a really genuine, sincere conversation and asking this spouse, if you will, or ex-spouse, to understand the importance of how it can adversely affect the child and putting the focus on that. If we want to fight and call each other names, we can do that, but not around the children.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
they become casualties to that war.
That's right.
Absolutely. We have Charlene on the line. What are your thoughts, Charlene?
Yeah, well, sorry about that. This is a great segue into what I did have to ask, because personally, and thank you so much, Zakiya and gentlemen, for having these conversations with us. And happy Father's Day.
Thank you. What's your question? We have about 30 seconds left. Thank you for calling.
Right. So when the fight, when the man doesn't want to communicate with the ex, okay, for simple reasons of, I guess, just selfishness, and where would you say that real fight comes from when he is like determined that is a money thing and that woman just wants the money and he's not listening to reasoning as you guys are speaking and saying, okay, well, I just want to destroy her financially. How do you talk to another brother who is having that conversation in his heart and in his head, but not looking at the child?
That's so good. Thank you so much for calling, Charlene. Oscar, what do you say to another man who says, she wants to talk, but I know it's all about money? How do you answer Charlene's question?
You know, the scripture that says a man should love his wife as he does his own flesh, because no man would injure himself. When you separate from this woman, the children that are of your flesh are still being injured if you injure her, because she is responsible. So I would go back to the brothers that are listening that are trying to avoid the money and recognize that the universe is abundant. Give to those kids and recognize that those kids one day will definitely give back to you, and that ultimately you should not use the weapon of finances to try to cripple and debilitate this woman that bore your children.
Wow.
So shame on them if they do that.
Thank you, Oscar. We have Mike. Mike, what is your question? Okay, so that is so powerful. Antar, what would you say to Charlene's question? How can a woman communicate when the man is just not trying to hear it when it comes to the kids?
Well, send them over to Dads United. We're really trying to get that message across to those dads who are not really there as they should. My focal point is telling those dads, those absentee dads, that the time you waste is never time you will get back. You will never see this time again. You can waste the time if you want to, but you'll never be able to get those teenage years back, those adulthood years that you to miss. So you better take advantage of the time you have right now, because that child may be holding your hand on your deathbed and saying, I wish you would have given me as much time as I needed.
Wow, thank you. We'll take one last comment from Coco. Coco, you're on the line with Zakiya Larry Live.
Yes, hi. I wanted to comment about something that Oscar said, but also what the gentleman, I don't know his name. Who
yes, Mr. Antar Muhammad.
Yes. Child holding your hand on your deathbed. I know that is a fact from personal experience, because my father was not there for us. But then when he was sick and on his deathbed, his family called us to come and minister to him. And I was like, okay, you know, we did it. We were there holding his hand, even though he was not there for us. But no, what I wanted to comment about is what Oscar mentioned about the father attempting to injure the mother of his children. And I know that I had a previous place of employment where I met with several fathers who were ordered by the court to pay $300 to $500 a month in child support, and they would complain about that and think the woman was spending the money on herself. And my point.
I hate that call dropped, but her point was that money, it takes a lot to raise a kid. We'll just encapsulate that. So, guys, thank you so much for the advice that you've been giving. I wish we had more time. The phone lines are blowing up. Social media is blowing up. But we got to get out of here. So we're going to continue this conversation online. We're talking to men about broken and blended families. Thank you to my panel of experts. And as a matter of fact, next week, Zakiya Larry Live will be live studio audience right here at KYND. So if you want to be in the building, because you need to be, at 10 a.m., make sure you go to ZakiyaLarryLive.com/studio guest. Reserve your seat. It is very limited, and we will do it big with giveaways, special guests, and conversations like these. Oscar Hines, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love this conversation.
Good. Wow. It's so good. I hate its ending. Antar Muhammad, thank you so much. And to Dads United, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my gosh. You are such a brilliant, brilliant ball of light. Stephanie, my partner in the series, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, guys. ZakiyaLarryLive.com/studio guest. And I'll leave you with a quick 1-minute elevate. It hurts and it heals.
Oh.
And so communicate through it. And secret here, I'm going to reveal really quickly that man on the line that was brave with his absentee story, Clarence out of Memphis, he is the reason for the Larry of Zakiya Larry Live. Thank you to my daddy for admitting, moving forward, and helping us to heal. I will see you in the building next week. Love you. Be well. It's Zakiya Larry Live.
You're listening to the powerful 1520.